This is the hellhole Bali jail facing Lyons gang supremo Steven Lyons after a sensational arrest. The 45-year-old head of the notorious Lyons gang was nicked on Saturday on the Indonesian island after a wave of arrests in Scotland and Spain. We can also reveal claims Lyons had arranged to stay in a plush villa in Bali, with private security firm heavies hired to keep him safe. But his plans went up in smoke when he was nicked and thrown in an airport cell, with his next potential destination a hellhole jail called Hotel K. Lyons was nabbed at Igusti Ngurah Rai International Airport on a flight from Singapore. The sting was carried out at the request of the Guardia Civil, who want Lyons extradited to face allegations in Spain. A source said, Karabokan Prison, or Hotel K as it's affectionately known, is one of the worst prisons you can imagine in terms of comfort and safety. It's a world away from the plans Lyons had to live in a very expensive, luxurious villa he had arranged a long-term let for. He also had private armed security and a police escort arranged to take him from the airport to the villa. You can pay for this kind of police escort in Bali if you have the cash. It's a bit like hiring a limo. But he'll be on his own now, and if he ends up in Hotel K, nobody there will have his back. The jail is synonymous with deadly prison riots, rampant drug abuse and sex attacks, as well as doomed cons waiting for years on death row in horror conditions. Last year, a drugs mule Gran returned home after serving a 12-year stretch with the threat of execution hanging over her head. 70-year-old Lindsay Sandiford of Redcar on Teesside was caught with cocaine worth £1.6 million as she landed in Bali in 2012. She was sentenced to be killed by firing squad before being transferred to the UK after a deal was signed between the Foreign Office and Indonesia. Meanwhile, we can reveal Steven Lyons' wife as the latest suspect nicked as part of the international probe into the crumbling Glasgow mob. Amanda Lyons, née Hayes, was nicked in Dubai while her husband Steven was being cuffed thousands of miles away on Paradise Island, Bali. Her arrest is the latest blow to the El Mob Supremo, who's 45, whose brother Eddie Lyons Jr., who was 46, and 43-year-old Ross Monaghan were both shot dead in May last year. It's understood United Arab Emirates cops swooped on the luxury pad where the Lyons had set up home after moving to the Gulf state from Spain. The crime network, headed up by Steven, was the subject of a dramatic cross-border operation that saw 13 suspects nicked in dawn raids across Scotland and Spain on Friday. A Police Scotland spokesperson said, "We are aware of the arrest of a Scottish woman in Dubai and we are working closely with European partners." Amanda is the granddaughter of heroin dealer Ricky Hayes, a close associate of long-term fugitive Derek Deco Ferguson, who is wanted in connection with two notorious gangland murders. The grisly circumstances around the killing of Billy Bates, who was 43, had echoes of a Hollywood mafia movie, but was horrifyingly real. His body was stuffed in an oil drum and dumped in the River Clyde on July the 26th, 2007. It was claimed a revenge hit for another murder just weeks before. Bates was in the frame for the gun assassination of Tam Cameron outside the Auchinleern Tavern in Bishop Briggs, near Glasgow, on the 28th of June. But before he could face justice, his corpse was fished out of the water close to the Erskine Bridge. One of Scotland's most wanted men, 62-year-old Ferguson, is sought in connection with Cameron's murder and has been linked to the Bates killing too. He is a pal of Costa del Sol-based Hayes and, like the Lyons mob, has long-standing connections to the Irish Kinahan cartel. In July 2023, Police Scotland issued a new mugshot showing how Ferguson could look with a beard. The EvoFit pic shows the fugitive's face based on the latest intel and allowing for ageing. Gangland enforcer Ferguson, who's 59, is thought to have fled to Spain after reportedly being smuggled out of Scotland in the boot of a car. We told how Lyons was publicly paraded by cops in humiliating scenes following his arrest in Bali. The leader of Glasgow's notorious Lyons mob was also pictured with his head in his hand following the shock swoop on the Indonesian island. Officers moved in on the stunned kingpin after he touched down on a flight from Singapore on Saturday. We told how the sting was requested by Spanish police force Guardia Civil after 13 suspected hoods linked to him were captured in Barcelona, Malaga and in Scotland the previous day. It's understood Spanish authorities are now seeking Lyons' extradition.